I'm coming right off the top with a running back from the LA Chargers. He's coming off a year where he had a career high 911 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, 70 receptions, 647 additional yards, 8 more touchdowns, tied for first overall in the NFL with 20 TDs. One of 2 players in Charger history with 20 touchdowns in a season, undrafted in 2017, and appearing courtesy of MetaQuest 2, the virtual reality headset. Austin Ekeler joins me. What's up, man? How are you?
What's going on? I want that guy on my fantasy team, I tell you that. Sheesh.
Dude, exactly right. How you feeling, man? How you living?
I'm living large, man. I appreciate you letting me break the ice for you this morning.
Hey, listen, I did this strategically. I'm not going to book somebody who's not going to bring me some juice and some energy off the top. In fact, you're into the off season, so let me start right there. Normally, you might be a time of rest and recovery, but I've been checking you out on social media. You had a great Motivation Monday post about the grind. All right, it pumped me up. Let me start right there. What does the grind mean to you, and what do you love so much about the grind?
Yeah, I think the grind is unique to everyone, but it's the same as far as the concept of it for everyone, right? And what I mean by that is we all have our own path, but the work and the time that you need to put into it is the same for everyone. Like, you're going to have to put in time, you're going to have to put in work, and the grind is different levels for people because some people are differently committed to it. Some people go all into it, some people, are settling and just, allowing themselves to feel stuck in a hole, and that's why I always put out these motivations like, hey, time is short. Time is short. Let's get out there and grind. For me, I love to grind in various different ways, whether it's football, whether it's with my family, whether it's, working out, whether it's in my businesses, whether it's engaging. And so it's great to find different avenues and just putting time into it. The grind is really progressing in that. It's into feeling a progression, right? It's not necessarily like you're seeing, actual tangible things, but it's always a feeling of how you feel inside. Are you progressing, or do you feel like you're in a phase and need to find a new path?
So what we're talking about right here, this is a mindset, this is a lifestyle, this is a path, this is a journey. I get exactly what you're saying. And what you're saying also, and what I love about this is not just a football thing or a high-level NFL athlete thing. This is applicable across every platform. This applies to every last one of us. Now, you mentioned also there's a lot more to it than just football. I mean, look, you're committed to being the best player you can be. I understand that, but you're taking on a lot of other things. Like, what other kind of projects are getting your attention and your interest and your energy right now?
Yeah, and even before we get specific with that, I think it's just special for everyone to understand that, like, we're all different, right? But we're all, moving forward in a sense as far as time. And so if you feel like you're progressing towards
dude, we're
something,
not. That's the thing. This is really important what you're saying. I think that some people, I love this. Sorry to interrupt, but some people are stuck. Some people are in a rut. Some people do not understand. They don't know how to go about it, or they don't have their passion. What do you tell those people?
Yeah, and it comes back to what do you like? Like, what makes you enjoy life? What makes you happy, right? That's where I say that start there. If you're like, man, I don't know what to do, what do you enjoy? Find that you got to have something that you enjoy. Maybe it's video games, maybe it's walking, maybe it's basketball. Like, find something and try to associate a little part of that in your life a little bit more. And just continue, because then if you do that, you're going to start to meet people that also enjoy that. And then it's going to give you somewhere to start, or at least a community of people that are still looking for that.
The law of attraction, right? You put that out there. You believe in that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The energy you put out is probably what you're going to receive most of the time.
Energy is really important. I want to ask you about that. So, like, you've got big plans and you take big swings and you're addicted to the grind, but to do that, you have to have a certain energy. Where does the replenishment of the energy come from, or does the grind provide its own energy?
Ooh, I would say it comes from my upbringing, just the way I was raised. I was raised on a ranch. It was just a work mentality. You don't really complain, you just work. And so that's been ingrained into me. And so, like, when I've been progressing and getting older, all I've known is just work. Like, we used to build miles of barbed wire fence. If you ever done that, it's not very fun. And so it wasn't like I was, woo, like, this is great, but it taught me that you just work, you just grind. I took that same mindset when I was building barbed wire fence, and I was like, okay, let me try to do it with something else. And then it just became easy. And like people were complaining about getting up early. I'm like, what? Like, that's nothing. Like, you got to get up early, you got to go lift weights, you got to play sport. Like, this is amazing. Like, I love this. This is so easy. And so then, mastered that grind and put it to my education, into business, into engagement, into the foundation, and just started just snowballing into all these different pathways. And I built a team around it. Now we're all grinding together. And like you said, the energy you put out, right? Energy, that's what's going to be around you.
It's the thing is, I'm being real careful about this because I know you and I need to talk football at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I love this topic. I could do this for hours. hours. So, but here's the bad thing. We talk football, we talk about the way the season ended, and not in the best way. I talked to Chris Harris Jr. last week, and he was talking about how he's still getting over that season-ending loss to the Raiders. What's that process been like for you? I can already see your body language changing.
Man.
What's it been like that for you? Have you moved past it, or are you still bothered by it?
Just this season, man. I'm bothered by the entire season just because we had the pieces. They're all there. We have the talent. We have the pieces there, but we were too inconsistent. We came out and we look like we're the team to beat sometimes, and then we come out like versus the Ravens and we get destroyed 7-30, and everyone's like, "What the heck?" And we're sitting there like, "Well, how did that happen? How does that happen?" And then you look at us when our back's against the wall, and then we play like we have everything to lose, which we did, and then we made it work. Right, and that's why Coach Day always went for it on fourth down, because he's like, no, y'all got the pieces, go do it. And so if we can get that mindset, that's going to be my message going forward this year. I'm like, we got to get the mindset. This is fourth down every single down. Like, we got to have it right now, because when we're on the edge, that's when we play the best. And I don't know if we were too relaxed or didn't have that edge, but we need to have that every single play.
Austin Ekeler is joining us right now. You mentioned the fourth downs. He goes for it.
We're going.
You were going for it.
We're going
for it. And I would imagine sends that message that, hey, I've got a great belief in you guys. We're aggressive. We're going for it. Is there such a thing as being overly aggressive, too aggressive? Is it always the right move to always go for it on fourth down?
There's 100% a line between being aggressive and over-aggressive. There's definitely a line. Do I think that we cross it? I don't know because I see, like I said, I'm on my board with him. I get what he's saying. Like, we got the guys, we can get 4 yards. We can get 9 yards, right? We have plays that are designed to get this type of yardage. So, I think it's just, perspective where you think it's over-aggressive or not. But from our perspective, we're like, we can get it.
Right. Austin Ekeler joining us. I ran down your numbers. Huge numbers at the very top. Like you said, I'd want that guy on my fantasy team. Frankly, dude, I'd want that guy at the Pro Bowl. And you were not at the Pro Bowl, and I went over those numbers. How do you feel about that?
There's a lot of factors that play into it. Would I love to be in the Pro Bowl? Absolutely. But it's something I can look forward to next year. I got to get back to that mark, right? Continue to grow. That's something that I can't control, so I can't get too mad about it because I'm not voting for myself enough times or what. I don't know. It's all about votes, right? So something I can't control.
Talking to Austin Ekeler, when it seems kind of weird. Like, we can keep going back to your journey and where you started, or we can stop talking about that because of where you are right now. But is there any part of you, like, again, undrafted, came up on the farm, barbed wire, nothing but grind and hard work, and do these numbers, 1,500 yards plus, 20 touchdowns. When you see that and you think about where you started, what kind of thoughts do you have? Like, you're like, yeah, I knew this would happen. I kind of saw it before it would happen. Or is there a sense of still, like, maybe some awe and that this is still kind of surreal, that this is really happening?
I had no idea this was going to happen, right? All I knew was that I was applying 100% of Austin Ekeler to it. I'm putting everything I am into this. And so that's why I haven't stopped yet, because when I first made the team, that was literally my mindset. I got asked after my 4th preseason game, my rookie year, like, how do you feel like you did? Do you think you made the team? I was like, I don't know if I made the team, but what I do know is that there's nothing else I could have done. That was everything. So if that was good enough, I'll make the team. If not, I'll go find something else to do. And it was good enough, and then I've applied that same thing to every other opportunity after that, and it's just been blossoming.
It's amazing to me. You figured out at an early age that you're never going to be a guy with regrets. You'll never look back and say, you know what, I could have done more, I should have done more, I had this opportunity, I could have crushed it, I didn't. Like, you figured that out at a pretty early age. Yeah, that's powerful.
I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice if you're living that way. Like, get out there and do what you want to do. Find a passion and put some effort into it, right? Like, go. Like, what are you waiting for? The
clock spins fast, man. Trust me. So you and Justin Herbert seem to have this really special bond on the field. You've said, quote, that guy makes me want to play forever around him because he's a guy that, man, you just believe. What is it about this guy? It's probably something intangible. It's hard to describe. But what makes it? Why do you feel that strongly about that guy?
Yeah, and it's the intangible, right? It's the things that people don't see or can't touch, and what they can't see is the Monday through Saturday, and just seeing how this guy really loves this game, man. Like, he cares about this game more than anyone that I've been around. And I wasn't around Phillips' career really early on. He probably was a similar way, but this guy, like, he's always the first one out at the practice field. Like, he's out there going through the plays. He knows, okay, like, I gotta get the whole playbook learned. So he's out there learning the plays, talking through the plays, learning from Chase Daniels, the older quarterback in front of him. And like, after the games, he's always the last one to take his pads off. He just sits there.
I mean, that's what you want. You want a guy who loves the game. But and I've never understood this, but it's true, right? There are guys that could actually get to the league that may not love the game per se, but love what the game can do for them. If you have a guy like that you're counting on, and maybe they're not as committed as you are as a leader, how do you approach that?
It's different. It's different because, I mean, that might not necessarily be a bad thing. Like, for me, I didn't even watch the NFL growing up. I didn't even watch the NFL growing up, right? I didn't watch till like my junior year of college. But what did I enjoy?
Seriously?
Yeah. Like I said, I grew up in the ranch life. We are not watching the NFL out there. Right. We watched.
So how did you ever get it in your head that you could be that guy if you didn't even see it really until college?
My coach came to me one day. He's like, he coached Danny Woodhead at Shadron, and he's like, you know what? You remind me kind of him. You might have a chance. I'm like, well, let me check this out a little bit.
Had you ever thought about that before he came and put that in your head?
I had it in the back of my mind, like, hey, you know, that's another pathway to go. But I was all into my education. You know, I was in my business degree. I was going into that, and football was like just a way to pay for it. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, I'm going to go to the NFL. Like, that wasn't a thing until actually scouts started showing up at practice. I was like, oh, this is actually.
Dude, what was that like?
Insane. I thought these were fake people. Like, I was like, that's an NFL scout.
Like they're here to see me?
Yeah, there was never a scout up there before then. You know, I don't even know if there's anyone that's made it from my school to the NFL. And so that was pretty surreal, and people were just like, whoa.
Let me ask you really quickly. Staley has made the point that he's got a role in mind for you, and not just as a player, but as a leader. Like, he raves, and anybody watching this can feel this, he raves about the example that you set for everybody else on the team. It's a critical role, and in my mind, not everybody is built for that role. How do you approach that part of the gig?
You know, I think I just kind of fell into it just because of my mind and how I came up through my opportunities. And so especially the younger players, they gravitate towards that because they're looking for an answer, just like I was when I was young. I was like, how does this work? What do I got to do to get on the team? And I tell every single one the same thing. I'm like, you know, like, if you're going to go in like I did, you put everything else in your life on hold. Told my family, don't call me. Like, let me just focus on this. And you go all in. You do nothing else besides study, talk to your coaches, and just watch film. Like,
dude, is that your life every single day, all day, like no days off? Do you not have bad habits? Do you not go down the rabbit hole of social media? Do you not eat crap? Do you not have moments or days like that?
So I feel like I've just involved my life in so many different things that it's like I go from this to this to this, so it's very limited. Yes, I'm still human. Yes, bad habits, whatever, you know, sleeping in too much, I don't know.
Right.
You know, but
you're not a robot, man.
No, I'm not a robot, but I have, like COVID taught me about myself that when I'm in downtime, I need something to fill it. So that's why I've started, I started an app, started my foundation, started real estate, like all these other ventures that I've gotten into.
It's bandwidth, dude. It's bandwidth. Like, you are fully committed.
I'm in.
You don't have time for the other stuff.
Exactly.
I'm going to say where I come out on you. This is what I respect and admire most about you. I think that not only are you maximizing your opportunities, not everybody does. I mean, very clearly you're getting as much out of you as you possibly can, but will create opportunities for others as well. That's important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's contagious.
My man, it is. And this is why. It's infectious. It's contagious. And like I said, it was not a mistake that I put you first up on a Thursday. I needed somebody to set the tone.
Let's go.
I mean, it's my gig, but I needed somebody to help me set the tone. Austin, really appreciate you. Great to see you. Thanks for making time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Always good to have
Appreciate
you. Austin Ekeler, appreciate you very much.
Absolutely.
One of the all-time great journeys, and he has earned literally everything and just grinding and still pushing, and I love that message.